Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
Could Jonathan Kuminga get a surprise shot amid Warriors' health concerns? An unexpected break, or exactly the opportunity he's been waiting for? With the Warriors heading into the postseason at full strength, it was inevitable that Steve Kerr would face some tough rotation decisions. But no one could have predicted just how tough things would get for Jonathan Kuminga. Despite being Golden State's third leading scorer during the regular season, Kuminga has been benched for 3 straight games, not due to injury or poor conduct, but simply because there wasn't room. 3 straight DNPs for a player who had become a key part of the team's mid-season surge. Now, opportunity might be knocking again, just not in the way anyone expected. As the Warriors prepared for Game 2 against the Houston Rockets, second-year guard Brandon Podziemski was listed as questionable with an illness. Though he was later cleared to play, there's uncertainty about how effective, or how long-lasting, his minutes might be. That's where things could open up for Kuminga. While the two don't play the same position, Podziemski has become a vital piece in Golden State's rotation, especially after the February acquisition of Jimmy Butler. He's been the steadying presence alongside Steph Curry in the backcourt, contributing scoring, rebounding, and defensive hustle. In Game 1 alone, Podziemski posted 14 points and a team-high 8 rebounds. But if his energy or availability is limited in Game 2, Steve Kerr may have to get creative, and that could mean turning back to Kuminga. He's handled it like a pro. Despite the sting of being benched, Kuminga has earned respect within the locker room for how he's carried himself. On Tuesday, Kerr spoke to 95.7 The Game about the young forward's professionalism through the adversity. His attitude, his energy on the bench, cheering for teammates, staying ready, JK's been incredible, Kerr said. It's not easy, I know it's been hard on him. But he's doing exactly what a pro should do, stay locked in, stay ready. And now? That patience may finally pay off. If the door opens, even slightly, Kuminga has to be ready to burst through. The Warriors struggled to rebound in Game 1, and they lacked a second scoring punch behind Curry. Kuminga, with his athleticism, motor, and ability to finish around the rim, could bring exactly the kind of spark Golden State needs, especially if Podziemski is less than 100%. There's no sugarcoating it, this has been a challenging stretch for Kuminga. But every player who's ever found success in the postseason has had one thing in common: they made the most of their moment when it came. Now, Kuminga might have his. He's got something to prove, said a Warriors staff member privately. If he gets his number called, I don't think he's letting that chance slip away. And maybe that's what makes this moment so compelling. Not because of a forced change in the rotation. Not because of desperation. But because sometimes, the playoff stage is where stories like Kuminga's begin. The hungry, overlooked player who didn't fold when things got tough, and instead stepped up when it mattered most. With Game 2 looming, the Warriors have questions. But Kuminga may just have an answer. Kuminga's moment, will it be his time to shine in Game 2? As the Warriors face a critical Game 2 against the Houston Rockets, the tension is palpable. With the series tied at 1-1, the stakes couldn't be higher. The spotlight for now isn't just on Curry or Thompson, it's squarely on Jonathan Kuminga. If Podziemski's illness continues to limit his minutes, Kuminga could be thrust back into a rotation that had sidelined him for far too long. What was once an awkward and frustrating stretch of DNPs, did not play, for the 21-year-old forward could suddenly become his chance to prove himself under the bright lights of playoff basketball. But beyond the opportunity itself, this moment is also a litmus test for Kuminga's maturity and mental toughness. For the young forward, it's not just about executing plays on the court, but about handling the pressure, the scrutiny, and the emotional highs and lows that come with competing for an NBA championship. Kerr's trust in his young forward. Kerr has made it clear that Kuminga has the potential to be a significant contributor to the Warriors' playoff run, but it's been about finding the right moments for him to step up. This is a defining moment for the coach as well. Does he roll the dice and give Kuminga the freedom to play with the same energy and aggressiveness that made him a fan favorite earlier in the season? Or does he continue to manage the rotation cautiously, waiting for another opportunity down the line? Kerr's praise for Kuminga's attitude off the court reflects how much he values the growth and maturity of the young player. But Kerr is also a coach who knows when to pull the trigger, and this could be the right time for Kuminga to show that he's learned from his benching. A critical opportunity for Kuminga to showcase his growth. During the regular season, Kuminga showed flashes of brilliance, athletic dunks, hustle plays, and the ability to guard multiple positions. But it's been a struggle to break into the Warriors' rotation recently, and the playoffs present a unique challenge for him. The pressure is immense, especially for someone who's only in his fourth year, but this is a game where the Warriors need someone to rise to the occasion. Whether it's contributing defensively on the perimeter or providing an offensive spark off the bench, Kuminga has a chance to make an impact where it counts most. A solid performance could give him the confidence to assert himself and make his case for more minutes, both in this series and as the playoffs unfold. The bigger picture, Kuminga's role in the Warriors' future. Kuminga's situation goes beyond just this series. The Warriors are at a crossroads in terms of roster decisions for the future. The roster is aging, and questions about the team's long-term direction loom large. This postseason could be a defining chapter in Kuminga's development, not only to prove his value to Kerr and the Warriors' championship aspirations, but also to demonstrate that he's ready to take on a bigger role moving forward. The Warriors have invested a lot of time and energy into developing young talent, and Kuminga is at the center of that initiative. His growth over the next few seasons could shape the team's future in significant ways. So the minutes he gets or doesn't get in these playoff games aren't just about this season. They're a test for his future as a key member of the Warriors' core. The ripple effect. What does this mean for the team's championship hopes? The Warriors can't afford to waste a single game in this tight playoff race. As Curry continues to carry much of the offensive burden, and with Thompson's defense often setting the tone, Golden State needs depth. That depth has been questioned throughout the season, with fans and analysts alike wondering if the Warriors have enough firepower beyond their stars to make a deep run. Kuminga's return to the rotation, even in a limited capacity, would help alleviate some of that pressure. His athleticism, energy, and potential on both ends of the floor could be the spark Golden State needs. If Kuminga can contribute, it might just be the piece that makes the Warriors' playoff puzzle complete. Looking ahead, Game 2 and beyond. As the Warriors head into Game 2 in Houston, all eyes will be on Kuminga. Will he be ready to step into the void left by Podziemski's illness? Will he seize the opportunity that could define his postseason journey? No one knows yet. But what's certain is that this moment could be a turning point, for Kuminga, for the Warriors, and for the entire championship race. As Kerr continues to make decisions for his squad, the pressure of each game becomes more tangible. With the series tied at 1-1 and a vital Game 2 looming, every play, every move, and every moment matters more than ever. And if Kuminga rises to the challenge, it could be a turning point not just in the series, but in his career with the Warriors. Warriors drop Game 2 to Rockets, but all eyes are on Jimmy Butler's injury. The Golden State Warriors never really stood a chance in Game 2, not without the Robin to Steph Curry's Batman. And now, the real question looming over this first-round series isn't just about wins and losses. It's about Jimmy Butler. The Warriors fell to the Houston Rockets 109-94 on the road, evening the series at 1-1 as the scene now shifts to San Francisco. But the moment that changed everything didn't come on the scoreboard. It came in the first quarter, in a moment of pure bad luck and brutal impact. Midway through the first, Rockets forward Klay Thompson went down hard while attacking the rim and slid right underneath Butler, who was mid-air going for a rebound. The collision was scary. Butler crashed down, landing directly on his tailbone. He laid on the floor for several minutes before carefully walking off under his own power. The team quickly ruled him out for the rest of the game with what they described as a pelvic contusion. Now the entire organization, and the fan base, waits. Butler will undergo an MRI tomorrow to determine whether there's a fracture. If there is, his postseason, and potentially the Warriors' playoff hopes, could be over. If it's just a deep bruise, there's still a path forward. He joined Steph Curry and Jonathan Kuminga as the latest Warriors players to deal with this same frustrating injury. Curry missed 1 game. Kuminga missed 2. Butler? Everyone's holding their breath. The Warriors scrambled without him. Without Butler, the Warriors had to get creative and desperate. Brandon Podziemski, battling a stomach bug, wasn't himself. Steve Kerr dug deep into the bench, giving rare minutes to Pat Spencer while reinserting Kuminga into the rotation. The Rockets, meanwhile, smelled blood. Houston came out with serious physicality, a clear directive from head coach Ime Udoka to ramp up the intensity. And they did. They bodied up Curry, challenged everything at the rim, and made life miserable inside the paint. Golden State supporting cast hit a few threes, but inside? It was a mess. Missed layups, careless turnovers, blown opportunities. Curry, as brilliant as ever, just didn't have enough in the tank to carry them on his own. He finished with a quiet 20 points on an inefficient night, and when he's quiet, the margin for error shrinks to zero. Missed chances and momentum swings. The Warriors had their moments, a few sparks, a few mini-runs, but they never quite broke through. Down 14 at the half, they cut it to 12 in the third and even had a wide-open corner three from Podziemski to bring it into single digits. But the shot missed, and Draymond Green punished them on the other end with a dagger three of his own. That summed up the night. In the fourth, Golden State again cut the lead to 11 and had a chance to make it a real game, but another careless turnover and another Draymond Green triple slammed the door shut. A rough night for the role players. If the Warriors were going to win without Butler, someone had to step up. But it didn't happen. Podziemski, clearly under the weather, wasn't himself. Buddy Hield and Moses Moody were quiet. Kuminga looked like a player trying too hard, pressing every possession, forcing things, and committing unforced errors. His struggles were magnified by the spotlight, and it's clear he's still searching for rhythm and confidence. Meanwhile, Draymond Green shined. After a forgettable Game 1, Green came back with fire and stole the show. He dropped 38 points on 13 of 25 shooting, 8 of 18 from 3, adding 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and just 2 turnovers. He looked fearless, locked in, and fully in command. It's hard not to wonder, does he have that kind of night if Butler's still out there guarding him? Game 3, all eyes on Butler's status. Both teams now get a 2-day break before Game 3 at the Chase Center on Saturday night. For the Warriors, that extra day could mean everything. It could mean the return of Jimmy Butler. It could mean the return of hope. But until then, the entire Dub Nation is holding its collective breath, praying for good news. Because without their emotional leader, their tone setter, their toughest guy, the Warriors are vulnerable. And in this series, every inch, every rebound, every possession matters. Game 3 will tell us a lot, not just about who's going to win, but who's ready to survive. It's bigger than one game. Warriors face a defining moment. As the Warriors regroup in San Francisco, the gravity of the situation is sinking in. This isn't just about bouncing back from a Game 2 loss, it's about identity. It's about resilience. And it's about whether this team, shaken by injuries and inconsistent play, can rise in the face of adversity. Steve Kerr spoke to that after the game. His voice was steady, but there was an unmistakable edge to it. "This is when you find out what you're made of," Kerr said. "We've been here before. We've seen the highs, we've seen the lows. But what matters now is how we respond, with or without Jimmy." Kerr also emphasized that while Butler's potential return is crucial, the team can't afford to lean on hope alone. "We're preparing as if we won't have him. That's the only way you can approach it. And if he's back, great. But we need everyone ready to step up." Behind the scenes, Butler's MRI looms large. Inside the Warriors facility, Butler's MRI on Thursday morning is the focal point. Medical staff are reportedly optimistic the injury is not a fracture, but nothing is certain until the imaging comes back. If it's a contusion, he could potentially return in Game 4, or even as soon as Game 3, depending on how his body responds. Sources close to the team say Butler is determined to play again in this series and is already pushing the medical team to clear him. But even Butler knows, rushing back could do more harm than good. "He's a warrior," said Draymond Green. "But this ain't about being a hero. It's about being smart. We need Jimmy long-term if we're gonna make a real run." Houston smells opportunity. While Golden State scrambles for answers, the Rockets are smelling blood in the water. Ime Udoka, who has already made a strong impression in his first year coaching Houston, made it clear in his post-game presser, "This isn't about just one win. We respect them," Udoka said, "but we're not scared of them. We came in here to compete, and now we've got to keep the pressure on." Draymond Green, now riding a wave of confidence, echoed that sentiment. "I feel like I found something tonight," he said. "I just wanted to be aggressive, get my rhythm early, and let the game come to me. If they don't adjust, I'm gonna keep coming." Matchup watch, adjustments incoming. Expect the chess match to intensify in Game 3. If Butler is out, look for Kerr to tighten his rotation and lean harder on Draymond Green and Gary Payton too to cover Green defensively. There's also talk that rookie Tracy Jackson-Davis could get some surprise minutes as a mobile interior presence, especially if the Rockets continue to attack the rim with confidence. On offense, the Warriors will need anyone, to take some pressure off Curry. Whether that's Moody spacing the floor, Hield finally catching fire, or Kuminga finding his confidence, someone has to step into that void. The stakes, more than just a series. For the Warriors, this series is more than just another playoff round. It's a test of their new era. With Jimmy Butler brought in to elevate them to contention again, and Steph Curry still playing at a high level, there's a sense that this team should be ready for the moment. But the NBA doesn't hand out wins based on potential. It rewards grit, execution, trust. And with Game 3 on the horizon, the message is clear: no one's coming to save them. Whether Butler plays or not, it's on the Warriors to rise, together. "We've faced pressure before," Curry said quietly after Game 2. "This is nothing new. We're not backing down. That's not who we are." Saturday night, the lights at Chase Center will burn a little brighter. The pressure will weigh a little heavier. And the Warriors, with or without their star, will have to answer the call. Is Draymond Green hinting that Jonathan Kuminga will join the rotation in Game 2? Could we see Jonathan Kuminga taking the court in Game 2 against the Rockets? As the Golden State Warriors aim for a 2-0 lead in their first-round series against the Houston Rockets this Wednesday night, questions are swirling about potential lineup adjustments. Despite a solid 95-85 win in Game 1, the Warriors know that Houston will come out swinging in Game 2, likely pushing for a different outcome. That means Golden State needs to be ready to counter with fresh energy, and maybe a few surprises. One of those surprises might just be Kuminga. On the latest episode of The Draymond Green Show, joined by former NBA star Baron Davis, Draymond dropped an interesting hint. While praising young teammates Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski, he pivoted the conversation toward Kuminga. "The two young guys are playing really well, man," Green said. "But one thing I'll say, this series might be a great fit for Jonathan Kuminga. I think it'll be fun to watch him step up and play well too. We're going to need all our young guys to deliver in this series." Baron Davis didn't miss a beat, adding, "I'd love to see Kuminga out there. I just have a feeling he's ready to break out and really impact this series." Of course, take it with a grain of salt. Playoff teams don't typically reveal their tactical moves this openly. Green could simply be trying to keep Kuminga mentally engaged in case he's called upon unexpectedly. Still, throwing out that kind of endorsement during the playoffs isn't nothing. It could be strategic, or it could be foreshadowing. This isn't the first time Green has hyped up Kuminga's potential impact, either. After the play-in game, he made similar remarks, suggesting there's some real belief behind the words. With Game 2 tipping off Wednesday night, we won't have to wait long to see if Coach Steve Kerr decides to shake up the rotation and give Kuminga his moment. The buzz surrounding Kuminga's potential role in Game 2 has quickly picked up steam across social media and among NBA analysts. Fans are already speculating what his presence on the floor could mean for a Warriors team that, while experienced, often leans heavily on a shortened rotation during the playoffs. Kuminga brings something the Warriors might be missing right now: explosive athleticism, defensive versatility, and the ability to push the pace in transition. His skill set could be a game changer, especially against a younger, fast-paced Rockets team that thrives on momentum. Several analysts have pointed out that while Golden State controlled much of Game 1, they struggled at times to match Houston's energy, particularly when the Rockets went small and turned up the tempo. Kuminga's ability to switch on defense and finish through contact in the paint might be exactly what Steve Kerr needs to keep the edge. Even Warriors insiders have started hinting that the coaching staff could be looking for ways to inject fresh legs into the rotation. According to a report by The Athletic, Kerr and his staff have been impressed with Kuminga's focus during practices and film sessions since the start of the playoffs, even though he didn't play a single minute in Game 1. And then there's the locker room dynamic. Green's public praise of Kuminga wasn't just about XS and OS, it was about building trust. Veteran players like Draymond know how important it is to keep young talent mentally ready, especially in the high-stakes pressure of a playoff run. When a respected voice like his gives you the nod, it sends a message, to Kuminga, to the team, and even to the opposition. The fan reaction has been largely positive, with many calling for Kuminga to get his shot. Some believe his limited minutes in Game 1 were a missed opportunity. "You don't develop weapons just to leave them on the bench when it counts," one fan tweeted. Others argue that Kerr's cautious approach is justified, pointing to Kuminga's occasional inconsistency on defense. Still, there's a growing sense that if Kuminga sees the court in Game 2, it could mark a turning point, not just in this series, but in his young career. He's shown flashes of star potential throughout the season, and this could be the moment he puts it all together under the brightest lights. All eyes will be on the Warriors bench when tip-off comes. Will Kuminga check in early? Will he be used in spot minutes, or trusted in crunch time? The answers are coming soon. And if Kuminga rises to the occasion, don't be surprised if this becomes one of those playoff stories we talk about for years.